Hey y'all, thank y'all for coming back and chilling out with your girl IT on Tears and Weed Tarot. Oh, today is one of those days where I'm like, I don't know what kind of energy I'm feeling, right? I still feel like drained from this week. I don't know, again, if it's from me moving and doing so much, getting prepared to move. I still have a lot of stuff to do, guys, and it's Friday, and I'm trying to get my happy Friday, my energy up, and it is just, oof. I feel like I am just dragging. So, anybody else out there feeling like they're just dragging, really needing, I'm praying, and my prayers feel like they dragging. Like, even in meditation, it's like, Holy Spirit, please come in. Like, it's like, no. Spirit laughing, but it's the truth. Like, I feel like I have no energy, like none. I don't want to do anything but sit down and just rest. Just rest. I really feel a good need to ground. As a matter of fact, that maybe that's why I can't get this thing sitting right, because I need to cleanse, cleanse our cards, still, I don't know what we feeling right now. So whatever spirit wants to pull, we will pull. Or we may not pull nothing, and we may just sit here and talk. You know what I mean? And figure out like what it is. I know for sure I want to question myself, so I'm gonna get some empowering questions out. Spirit says yes. We'll do that because I want to find out like what it is that's pulling on my energy. Is there something in here in my space that I need to be thinking about? How can I, dig into self and see what I need to do from a nurturing standpoint or a discovery standpoint, something, right? This energy is coming from somewhere. Holy Spirit, thank you so much for being with us. You know, you understand where I'm at on this day. You understand my energy flow. You know what's afflicting me, even if I can't express it myself. Thank you for using me on this day. Thank you for the opportunity of this day, right? Thank you for pulling me into this space and just giving me the opportunity to rest and sit with you. Allow me to take the moment to rest and nurture myself in the spirit, like to we get caught up so much in these spiritual battles and fighting, and whether that's not fighting, yes, is a yeah, pushing, we battling. I mean, it's a spiritual battle, it's definitely a fight, but a lot just pushing, trying to progress, trying to move forward, trying to get it done, make ends meet, as our people usually would say. So sometimes that energy just gets low because when I say I had a spiritual output, when we had to move that bin and holding all that stuff up and we were gonna get crushed, I felt like, again, I had to put the universe, God Himself came down and was like, look, we got to hold this, and now I just feel sapped, like I had, like where I don't know, like on one of those shows where you have such a outburst of energy and output, and then that thing just falls out and passes out because it's just like drained, completely sapped. That's how I feel, like completely sapped. And I still have such a desire and passion to put, messages out and talk to people, and talk to, get it out for me, get it out, to express it to other people who may be going through the same thing. Thank you, Spirit, for the questions that we have. And yeah, because I know I'm not the only person that goes through this stuff. I know I'm not. It's just not possible, right? Uh, we we're all in this field together, and we know that the energy out here, people are going through the same things, because we see and hear so many seers and readers giving us this information, reading people and saying this is what's happening, and this is what the Most High God is trying to share with you. This is what you need to be aware of, and all of this stuff. So we know that it's more than us, more that goes through these things. And if my journey could be helpful to anybody, then I definitely will let it be. So the first thing that I want to question today is, why am I doing the things that I'm doing right now? Ooh, come through, spirit. Just bust open the door, right? Why am I doing what I'm doing right now? Exactly what I just said. It's so many of us that are going through these same issues. You know, Scorpio card just wanted to jump out again. I don't know. That death energy, death and rebirth type of energy. Yeah, and I think, you know, that's a part of the question. Why am I doing what I'm doing right now? You know, what is blooming? What's growing? What's being reborn? You know, how how am I changing? You know, if am I in, what position or state am I in? From a spiritual standpoint. Oftentimes when we feel low and no energy, like you might feel isolated and pulled and set aside. You know what I mean? You could be feeling misunderstood, like people don't get what it is that you're trying to do. Like all of your intentions come off the wrong way. You know, if you understand why you're doing what you're doing, are you able to communicate that to others, or are you still struggling with your why? Right? I know my why. I know I'm doing this right here because I have love, true, genuine love for every other expression of the Most High God. Like, I can appreciate it. Like, all of us are different, right? But as people, and I love us because to me we're the same. We all have we're all people. We are we share the same needs. We love and comfort and nurturing and connectivity and intimacy and the ability to just be yourself, right? Like, and be that without somebody judging you or placing their expectations upon you, like you need to live up to what they believe you should be. No, loving me and me loving myself and you loving me enough to just allow me to be me. You giving advice and recommendation and support and nurturing a person so that they can reach their highest self is something that we do from a high vibrational standpoint, but not because I just want to confine you to what my vision of you is. So why am I doing what I'm doing? Because I'm not beholden to what anybody else's vision of me is. I do it because I choose to have this Scorpio energy of death and rebirth, regenerating, evolving, continuously adapting, right? As I'm growing through cycles and stages of my life, I am evolving and adapting and changing and morphing, digging more out of myself. Again, using all that source material from those past life cycles to propel myself forward in this current cycle. But sometimes, when you use that gas expulsion to propel yourself, there's a lull. You can come down in energy, and it's that supporting, nurturing team that you have, to keep you going, to keep you motivated. That are those uh, ground level day ones. That's right. Thank you, spiritual ground level day ones that are there here with you to push you forward. And I'm blessed enough to have the individuals in my life that do that for me. And I love you guys and thank you. What advice on life would I give myself if I was a mother and wish nothing but happiness for my child? Ooh, I mean, come on now, come through with the word, spirit. I mean, we're just saying, I want my child to just be. Like, I am mothering and have 3 children, right? Three children am I mothering. So, and each of them are different and unique. Like, I don't need a separate or a second one of each, of any one of them, right? So each child is encouraged to just be themselves, like not Don't try to be like this one, and don't try to be that. I don't want you guys to mimic any, no. Each one of you are unique. And to let a child know that they are empowered to just be themselves, and teaching them to accept their whole selves. Even the things that you don't want to come and talk to me about because you feel a certain kind of way. You can talk to the Most High God. You can talk to Spirit. Spirit is there with you all the time. And Spirit wants and is guiding you to your highest self. Spirit is going to bring you lessons to push you to your highest self. Because at the end of the day, my children are taught that it's you versus you. It's not about the tares in your field. It is about you, the we. You are the story. You are the master, the driver, the star of your own life. And all the decisions that you make set you up for your own success. Knowing thyself is the principal thing. Nobody can tell you about you when you know you. They can't put those expectations of who you should be on you when you are very intimate and knowing of self, of who you are, right? Self-assuredness and confidence definitely is on point when you know who you are. The ability to accept your whole self. You can continue to go through death and rebirth, death and rebirth, death and rebirth, that Scorpio energy. Because you're confident in what has transpired in the past cycles, thank you, Spirit, will lead you and give you the ability to get through the current cycles. Yeah. Having that confidence, guys, and knowing that you can get through your current cycle because of where you've been in the past, the ability to be reborn, that cycle of death and rebirth, giving you the clarity of why you are doing, what is your purpose, why am I doing it? Because I want to encourage other selves that, maybe you are doing something, whatever you're doing right now. It could be prosperous in the next couple of months. We talked about you versus you, that shadow versus light, right? But make sure you're not your own snake, right? Or there's other people in your camp that may, again, putting expectations of who you should be. People end up doing all kind of, she ain't supposed to be, and they ain't supposed to be. Who are you to tell me what I ain't supposed to be, right? How about you put all your focus on figuring out what you supposed to be while you're trying to discern and figure out what I'm not supposed to be, right? Because that's the work you should be doing. Still holding on to what? Expectations of what they think you should be, and that's just not okay. Again, this holding on card, I don't know who is holding on to an expectation. That could be for somebody out here. Healing love, it feels upside down, like they don't, people who are hurt, see other people through hurt, see other people through pain, right? And it's really hard to see anybody as their authentic self when you're looking through a lens of pain. So you could be a person that has healing love and messages of light, and you are, a person that is, called to testify and supported by the one who sits above the Most High God, letting life unfold. This right here is also there. Regret is in the past, like letting go of all of that stuff, Those are the tears, the regret, the remorse, holding on to, these past decisions didn't turn out right, but holding on to your light and keeping shining is definitely, that's what my message is for sure. Somebody may be getting a message that's gonna, bring them some joy, a message from somebody or someone that's going to be helpful, like again, that message coming in, or maybe you just got a message and you might need to pause and think about it. You know, it could be coming in the form of a call. Somebody may be calling you. You may be getting an opportunity, right? Spirit said that's enough of that. You may be getting an opportunity. Um, and if I was giving somebody some advice, I would say, yeah, take a moment, think about it, go into the Most High God and see what it is that the Most High would have you do. What would the Most High God have you do in this? And is it aligned with your values and the principles and with your passion and what you are called to do to service? If that be the case, then have some confidence and self-assuredness and step out. Even just a little measure of faith to believe in what you can do versus the mountains of doubt of what you cannot do, right? Or what's against you. Have a mustard seed of faith of what you can do. Thank you, Holy Spirit, for coming in. Please make sure that these cards are cleaned up any residual energy from our last session. Please be sure to replace them with your messages of truth to guide us to our highest self, for your good. For we are walking here on this path of righteousness for righteousness' sake, just to learn more about ourselves, digging into self-discovery, getting encouragement and motivation. Please, if there's a message here that you would like to give for your field, please do so. If not, then we will put the deck down and we will move forward. What would you like for us to do? My vessel is linked onto you, Most High, to use. Well, there we go. Do we want this? Yes, no. I don't feel the energy here. Spirit says turn it over. We have to the sea. We have the thinker. And we have peace. We also have here and now. And then the bottom is all that glitters. So Spirit is pulling these two together. What advice would I give to myself if I was a mother and wished nothing but happiness for my child? Yeah, I would want them to have peace. That's definitely a part of the Most High sentiment, for you to have peace, right? Peace in your spirit, peace in your heart. Again, we are not called onto suffering. We are not called onto mental conflict and chaos and rumination and anxiety and depression. The Most High wants us to be peaceful, to experience peace, right? The peace from the knowingness that you are in the hands of the Most High God, and He's got you, and you are well cared for, you are loved, and everything that you need has been provided for you already if you just trust and believe. And it's provided for you in the here and now. Here and now, the challenge is, why am I doing the things that I'm doing? Right? Is it high vibrational? Is it low vibrational? If it's low vibrational, why am I doing the things that I'm doing? Why am I doing it? Are we questioning ourselves? Are we looking at ourselves? Are we observing ourselves objectively? We saw the observer come out, I think it was yesterday. I think it was yesterday. The observer came out. Well, being objective, looking at yourself from an objective standpoint, from the outside in. Outside in. That mirroring, looking at yourself in the mirror, here and now. Taking some time to do that, right? Because again, my card says devil versus God, but it's really light versus dark, low vibration versus high vibration, because it's still always you versus you. Because anybody could be, you could turn a devil, you can turn them a teacher. It's all about your perspective, right? Are you teaching you, or are you allowing the people and the conflicts and challenges in your life to teach you, right? Are you taking them as lessons, or are you taking them as losses? L's is L's, but which L are you taking is your perspective, right? So anything, thank you, Spirit, for going there. I think that's all they wanted to say. To the seed, moving forward, thinking, again, that objectivity, looking at yourself, right? This person right here is sitting here with Spirit. She ain't looking in neither one of these. She ain't paying attention to her compass. She ain't paying, not looking out. Where is she looking? She looking down. Let's see. This card. Yeah. I don't know if she's just looking inside. Like, what is she looking? Because she's definitely not looking out. And she's not looking at the direction. I want to read 7. The thinker. Oh, to the seed, 24, 24. Okay. Essential meaning is being in the flow, returning to source, recognizing how people's pieces. I literally was feeling that. That's what I'm saying. Like, she's not looking at through here, so she's not using it. She's not using it. She's looking down or within self, right? So she just floating, going with the flow, letting whatever this feeling in the source and the inside of her just, she's just going with it. That's right over the death and rebirth. Scorpio energy. Beautiful. Yes. So being in the flow, recognizing how pieces fit together, a natural pattern of events. Again, talking about how the things that, again, literally was just saying you are either taking L's, you're taking L's all the time, whether it's lessons or losses. All those pieces come together, those lessons push you to where you're going. So you're hearing now is giving you all the source material and skill set and things that experiences to pull and push your gift out. The oracle message says, isn't it wonderful when you feel yourself in the flow of life, when events and conditions seem to engage you in a way that is fluid and effortless? This card reminds you that going with the flow is exactly what you need to do right now. Ride the wave of opportunity formed by perfect conditions. Allow trust and faith to guide you forward as you flow like a river into the sea of life. So how do we take that when what we're called to flow with is not something that feel good, right? Let's think about that. Let's ponder, right? 4 and 4 is 8. 8 is, infinity sign to me, like challenge, not challenge, because 7 is a challenge, but it almost feels like that balance, right? Let's figure out how we get to balance with this. So if you're in a situation where the whole it's like, how the hell do I deal with these people? Like, these folks is like, I don't know how I'm supposed to work in this. There's something in that that's pushing you to either step out on your own into another direction and take a leap of faith, or there's something in it that is trying to teach you, to give you, to fortify you, to yeah, like, what is that thing? I think it's fortified, like when the cereal or food doesn't have enough vitamins or substance in that, so it adds more, right? Telling you to go get more of this thing. So it could be, maybe you might need to take a communication course or workshop, or purchase books on communication. I know for me that was a thing. Like, you making sure that how you are expressing yourself with intention, your intention is actually coming through. Like, how do you do that? Or if it's in relationships, you're attracting and bringing in certain, what am I mirroring or projecting that's not healed in me, that keeps pulling in this same type of energy. Like there's something there that you can dig into again, making it a lesson or a loss. Like you've taken an L, but either way, how am I spinning it? How am I flipping it for my highest good? Like, right? Because everything that glitters ain't gold. But the truth is that the treasure is inside of you. Building blocks is here, but you just have to imagine, right? How imagine and see how the 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 tears in your life are giving you the building blocks to all that glitters. I mean, really, right? How is that happening for you? What advice would you give yourself? Excuse me. What advice would you give yourself as you're going through these scenarios when it's you versus you? Being able to step in and counsel yourself, ask yourself the questions: why am I doing what I'm doing right here and now? And even if you could just take the time and inquire of yourself for the next couple of months and really be intentional, listening to yourself about the answers that you get. Why am I doing this? And even if I'm sitting down having a cup of coffee, right? Cup of coffee. Do I know why I want a cup of coffee? Oh, because it's hot. Why did I choose coffee over tea? Why did I choose coffee over a glass of water? Like, why am I doing what I'm doing right now? You know, do I just have a habit of getting up and making a cup of coffee every morning and now I'm not even thinking about what I'm doing? I just automatically do it because it's like muscle memory, is routine, it's habit, right? Why am I doing it? Is it healthy for me? Is it causing any other thing in my life? And I tell y'all for sure on this example of coffee, I'm gonna be real. Like it here it is on the East Coast. It's 12 after 12 on Friday. What is this? August 26th or something like that. I don't know. But it's after 12 and I'm still drinking coffee. And this is dark roast mixed with my raspberry white chocolate blend. It is delicious. Girl, it's so good. But anyway, it's 12 o'clock. Why am I drinking coffee at 12 o'clock in the afternoon knowing I'm not going to be able to sleep? And then I'm going to be up all night. And then the next morning, and I'm sitting up here talking about I'm sacked of energy. Maybe if I change my habit of drinking coffee at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, I might be able to go to bed on time and get plenty of rest, and then I can get some additional energy, right? So why am I doing what I'm doing right now, drinking this cup of coffee? Because it's good and I desire it, right? But that it being good to me and me desiring it is gonna have a consequence. It's gonna flow over and impact something else. I'm gonna have to decide to make a change somewhere. Either I'm gonna change my habit, or I'm gonna accept the consequence of what my ultimate state and result is gonna be. So again, what advice would I give to myself if I was the mother, looking for my own happiness, driving them towards peace? Look at what you're doing and see how your decisions are impacting your life and your outcomes. If your outcomes are aligned with the desires, the good desires of your heart, and you're able to be in alignment with the Most High God itself, then feel free, baby, because you should definitely be at a state of peace. But if you're not, and you are feeling chaotic, if you are feeling anxious, if you are feeling depressed, if you are sad, something needs exploration. Why am I doing what I'm doing right here and now? You need to think about it, because all of these things right here is going to drive you again. All that glitters, but you gotta do the work and get your building blocks together. And it starts with what you are thinking. Again, imagine and a thinker both at the same time. It starts in your head. Questioning, why am I doing this? And all of that will definitely lead you to answer your call. You probably end up being like, yeah, that's crazy, right? I didn't know that, me looking at me versus me, balancing it out, equaling things out, right, in my life, you don't have, this whole walk is not about being stiff and this, that, and the other. No, have balance. It's okay. You know, the Most High God made all things. Do it so in balance, in moderation, where, you know, the things that you desire and enjoy don't lead to your demise and turn into vanity, right? So, Holy Spirit, is there anything else that you would like for us to say? Spirit says yes. What deck would you like for us to get? Ancestor? Yes. Okay. So we gonna dig deep, right? We've been talking about reflection and getting in here. We're gonna put the book out. We're gonna cleanse the cards. Thank you, Holy Spirit, for being with us. Infinite intelligence of the Most High God, we welcome you. We have made space for you, and we give you all of our praise and gratitude and thankfulness for being here. We worship the Most High God, the Source. We thank you for being His Spirit, for gifting us with your presence. Please guide us in this session. Yeah, guys. So I guess with that thinker card, Spirit wants us to kind of dig down into self, right? Point out, you know, what, again, tears and wheat and tears and earth, the roots are what is entangled. That's why you can't just snatch it out, right? You have to identify it, discern it. You can't just snatch it out. That is the point, right? The Grand Gardener himself is the only one that can snatch it out, can pull it out. The Most High is the Grand Gardener. So when He comes through, He will separate the tares from the wheat, right? Tares go and get burned, and wheat is taken in the house to be made for bread. And of course, bread being nourishing, you know, that's why I talk about us becoming good bread, right? You don't want bad bread. I don't know. So, just don't feel right to me. So, Spirit, do you want this? Guardian angel. We got heart guardian as well. Turn the deck over. Spirit says top card. Okay. And do we want to split the deck? Yes. And there we go. And eagle as well. And Spirit says we're done. So let's look at it. Let's talk about it. What is the lineup, Spirit? Which card would you like us to speak on first? Okay. Shield Maiden, make plans and focus, right? We were talking about thinking about what it is that you're doing right now and why. Doing them with intentionality and making plans, focusing. In order to break a habit, sometimes you have to be planful to do things different, right? Tomorrow, I'm not going to get up and make coffee. I'm going to prepare infused water tonight. Like, that way, when I get up, I just remember to pour, my infused water. Or instead of me setting up the coffee pot tonight, waiting until the morning, I'm going to set up my tea kettle, right, so that everything is ready and I remember to do that thing or put a note out. Whatever it is that I want to focus on and change, I have to make plans for it. I have to be intentional about it, right? Thank you, Spirit. Spirit says we're here. Bask in the joy and light. So does Spirit want us to make plans to have fun, to just, yeah. So that's another thing too. Bringing in peace that we saw over here and make some plans to get out. Summertime is still nice before the fall comes in, before the season change. Oh, that's a word too. Spirit, like, enjoy the space that you're in before your season changes, right? Like, for those of us who are in a spot and sometimes we don't feel like we need to be, we are deserving to be in this place, like, oh, something's gonna go wrong, and we're catastrophizing, we're thinking about how we probably don't truly believe that we belong in this place, right? Like, unable to let yourself be loved. Sometimes we don't believe that we deserve something. Understanding that you're deserving is a frequency of love. You are deserving for whatever it is, goodness that's either coming to come or that you're preparing to bring in, right? And either it's in for you now or it's coming. Um, Make sure that you take the time to sit in it and enjoy. Be planful and to get there, you have to be planful and focused. Once you're there in the here and now, stay in it, enjoy it, bask in the joy. Allow yourself to know that you are deserving, right? That seeing it from a higher perspective is here. I didn't ask Spirit which cause, and they said put that card down because that is not where we're going. What card? Okay, thank you, Spirit. You're not alone. So know that you are loved, you're deserving, and you're not by yourself. You're not on this journey by yourself. Again, we talked about people who come in, they either bring you lessons or losses, right? Every situation brings teachers, and through if you accept the teaching and the lessons, and depending on how you do that, you may make lifelong connections. Like it could end up being something totally different than what you anticipated. The person that you thought didn't like you, couldn't stand you, didn't appreciate you, may end up being a connection that you'll have for you, or somebody that you needed to come in from a spiritual place to push you, right? Either they irritated you and pushed you to be better, or you learned something from them and they you came alongside them, right, and was able to learn and grow, or you gave up and you stopped and you allowed that energy to prevail over you, or you allowed it to diminish yourself and send you into a state where you dimmed your light, right? Do you want these two cards, Spirit? Not that one. First, see from a higher perspective. Of course, that's exactly what we were just talking about, right? Allowing the lessons in our life as teachers to help us see from a higher perspective. Either you're going to choose not to see it, or you can see or recognize how in this situation makes you better. How does it pull more out of you and fortify you, right? And only you know the truth. Only you know whether you have allowed things to push you back, and then it should make you quit on yourself, right? Or if you allowed that to be fuel to push you and propel you in some sort of way. Either you learned it on your own, or you went to I ain't gonna let them show me that, tell me what I can't do. I mean, that's who I used to be. You can't tell me what I can't do. You tell me I can't do it, I'm going to do it because you just said that I can't. So I'm going to go do it simply because. Right? Like, you don't define me and don't put me in a box. Please, look, don't put me in a box. Tell me who I am, because that's not your place. The Most High God says who I am. Now, me getting to a point where I was okay with the fullness of who I am, that was the thing. And that's why it's always you versus you. It's not about what the tears or anybody else saying, right? Because that's the illusion. The realness is you versus you, right? You and the Most High God. Are you okay with you and where you're going and where you're leaning into? And are you using, again, all that source fuel from this outside interactions and what you're getting from your environment to prepare you into being the best piece of wheat that you could be? Like, I know I make for good bread. I know I make for good bread. I know I'm good bread, and I make bread because I know I'm good for good bread. And I got long bread. I got spiritual long bread, like that I call my money at any time. It's consistent, it's stable. You know what I mean? And no, I ain't no person that just got stacks and racks in the bank, but I don't need it to be in the physical. And I know that. Bringing in that last card. Thank you, Spirit, for sending it over to the side, because we got there. I love you too. Yep, fist bump. There we go. Honor your inner knowing. I know I make for good bread. I know I make for good bread. It don't matter what I see going on out here, right? And that's how sometimes you have to Remind yourself that it's tears, it's reflecting, it's projecting. It must be something in this that I need to pull out of self. How do I flip it? You know, what's in it that needs to be flipped, right? If I, whatever it is I'm facing, if I don't like that shit, it's my responsibility to flip it. And how I flip it, you know, or how I dig into the most high, right? Excuse that lawnmower. These people that's out here, I mean, they mow their grass like every 2 days. I don't understand, but anyway, um, Holy Spirit, bring back what you were saying to the people, because it's not me, it's you. All of you, none of me. All of you, none of me. Bring it back. What was you just saying? Flipping the projection. Yes, thank you, Spirit. Thank you. Right? It's all about how you flip it. And if you dig into the Most High God, yes, that's where we was going. You was taking them there, digging into the Most High God, calling in your spiritual team every morning and talking about it. And they know what's going on, right? Because they know the Most High knows the beginning to the end to beginning. But what's missing is us calling and asking, and because we asked it would, you know, save me from this end result, right? But no, call them in on a daily basis. Start right now. Like, man, you know what? I'm getting ready to go downstairs, and you know what? I'm going to the we about to get something to eat. What do you want to eat, Spirit? What would be good to your taste buds? What do you want to taste right now? Because you be standing in front of the refrigerator like, it's so much. I don't know what the fuck I want to eat. Ask the Spirit. What do you want to eat? I literally couldn't find the case to my earbud just a second ago and was like, God, Spirit, what did I do with the case to my earbud? Walked me right over to my desk, had me look up behind my cell phone holder, and it was right there behind it. Thank you, Spirit. Being able to do small stuff like that, I'm telling you, work with the Spirit, work in your spirit, and see what the Spirit will do through you, give you inspiration, show you how to move and talk to certain people, people who to mess with, who not to mess with, how to approach them, how to come back at them, all of that. Spirit is bond. Yes. Activate. Meditate. Activate. Raising frequencies, you're gonna levitate. I mean, hey, we freestyling up in here. I don't know what that was, but go ahead on, Spirit, do you. I see it, I love it, I'm with you. Yeah, I hope you guys like this video. You know, today it's just where I'm at. My energy definitely feels better, so I hope y'all energy feel better too. You know, I feel like I'm ready to go get at the next half of this day. Video has ended up messages being a little bit long, but I felt like we just need to get it out there, because it's, you know, edifying for all of you, edifying for me, looking at the tears in our lives, see how they project and mirror back to us what we need to pull out and phase. What do we need to address? What do we need to dig into? What do we need to flip, right, in our lives, so that we can get out there and make good bread, because we make for good bread. So again, like, subscribe, share the videos if you guys like this content that I'm bringing. Stay with your girl, grow with me. Until next time, y'all. Ashe.